been like pretty chaotic, I would say, but going from that kind of a structure, like, you have a 5-day schedule that you're working and you have 2 days off versus then the pandemic when I was just at home all the time, like probably most of us here, and didn't really, how do you cover a campaign from your couch? It's like something we all kind of had to figure out. I signed up to be a political reporter. And so in my head, I was just like, okay, well, there's nothing really happening in my lane politically, so there's not really any stories to do. To be honest, that was a really bad way of looking at it because everything is political. Rural healthcare is politics. Racial injustice is politics. All of those things intersect with political journalism. I think that was not something I expected to jump into, but I think made me a better political reporter. But it takes a lot of just, I think, flexibility, and nothing's normal, nothing's regular. Everything is always like, take it one step at a time.
The blessing and the curse of my job has been like, I write this daily newsletter, which has existed for 10 years. I have obviously not written it for all 10, but like it has like a long built-in readership, right? So like that still came out every single day. The other stuff I do, the election stuff, I was fortunate, I think, that like I started getting the inklings early enough from like people who were like, this isn't going to be over, and like this is really going to fundamentally shift how the election is run. But I think Politico we started to prepare for that pretty early, I think, which was helpful and good.
I think social media is extraordinarily valuable. I saw a reporter yesterday tweet something that I really liked, where she was like, decolonize your newsfeed. Make sure you're not listening to the same 3 white male reporters who tell you what politics is and what political news is. And I think social media has been an extraordinary outlet to do that, where you can elevate reporters of color, voices of color. Make sure you're listening to a diverse, portfolio of voices and different perspectives.
I hate Twitter. Despite the fact I'm on it all the time, I like deeply, truly hate it, and I think it's fairly corrosive. I'm not on Twitter to like fight or like try to make friends or any of that. Like I'll talk about non-work things on Twitter, but like I'm not going to fight about stories. I'm not going to really critique other outlets on Twitter. I'm not going to get in a fight with like a consultant who didn't like my story. I'm not doing it. It's not worth it.
Things that I learned literally from Zach Montalero at the Hatchet are things that like helped me in my career tenfold. Like, you have to envision what you actually want to do and where you actually want to be. And like, the advice I would give you is like, find people who are doing that. I think when you see people who have been where you've been and then go on to do other things, it just, for me at least, like validates that it's possible.
Like that's the fun part about being a journalist though, right? Is like you at some point will have like a more direct route to like making a meaningful, having a meaningful difference. It's when you do have those cool moments, it's like taking a step back. You get to walk the halls of Congress. Like, it's an incredibly humbling moment that I think a lot of reporters overlook. Like, I still, like when I walk through the rotunda, and it sounds cheesy, but that's cool. Like this is where America is like made, and like being able to do a small part of that is cool. And that's an experience like not often offered to early career folks that like is in journalism.